Bum 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 bum. A boom boom ba ba dum bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba ba dum boom boom ba bum bum.
Okay. Um, okay, so we are 5 lines from the bottom of page Zayin. The line begins with the word Shiyum Shabam Ha'oir. Ready?
Yeah. Recording.
Okay, so the principle that we have discussed um, is that the the Rotzin and Amshachas Ha'oires and the initial creation of the Rotzin is all due to the preparation of Kelim. Because Oir does not stay as Oir without Kelim. But if there is Kelim, not only do the Kelim hold the Oir, but more than that, the Kelim actually elicit the initial Gili of the Oir in the first place. To the extent that, as we explained, that in order that there should be a Rotzin, an Oir in the first place, it requires that there should be Tzimtzum of the Rotzen Atzmi, Bitl of the Rotzen Atzmi. Bitl of the Rotzen Atzmi means that the Rotzen Atzmi should act contrary to its, so to speak, natural way. There's no natural way. There's nothing that compelling the Rotzen. But the Rotzen is connected completely with the Atzim, and therefore to extend itself beyond the Atzim and to be Nislavish in Kelim, this is a very Bitl Harotzim, Bitl Harotzim Atzim. And yet, the Kelim effectuate that Bitl Harotzim. That there should be that kind of Bitl and that the Rotzen should nimshach and ultimately be nimshach in Kelim. And this in that Torah is called Derech. Derech means that this is the both the process via which the oil is nimshach, and moreover, this is the fact that there is a process through which it be nimshach. This is what actually effectuates its presence.
Does it?
1 second. One nakuda that I'd like to add at this juncture is he explained in Chassidus elsewhere that the neshama is mislabish in the goof, and the Alter Rebbe says, we just said it in Tanya recently, that the neshama is connected and bound to the goof kalmones choyos, like living widows. It is like against its will, because the neshama wants to rise up to its source. What in fact connects the neshama to the goof? So there is the inyan that it is, so to speak, compelled by divine decree that it should be in the guf. but that connection between the shom and the guf is a very slapshus. It's a very profound and a mutual connection. It is true that it is a godly reality that brings it out, but what is it brought out? What is brought out is the principle that the neshama in a very real way actually is complemented, not complimented. You understand? It is fulfilled by being in the guf, because the real koyach and neshama is revealed as a result of its mislapshus in the guf. This is not for now. This is discussed elsewhere, but to understand, to use that principle over here, we will understand very clearly that oir really is an oir atzmi, and it is bound up with the etzem and is representative of etzem. As we always say, oir is testimony. If there is oir, it's testimony that there is an etzem. That's how closely interconnected and reflective it is of the etzem, and therefore it is perfectly satisfied that it wants to stay with the etzem. However, it is the keli that is instrumental in revealing the profound truth in the oir. And this is why the oir is solicited as a result of this keli, because through the keli, the truth of the oir is revealed in the most blatant, the most clear, and a profound manner. Coming back to our simple model of 1 and 1 is 2. So in the seichel itself, in the chochmah, in the seichel itself, we know, we sense the unity amongst all things. Everything comes from one source, Havaya Echad, and so forth. But this perfect unity, the significance of this unity, is not realized until you bring it to a point where the unity is not obvious, or on the contrary, it tends to be separate. And there you realize, hey, it cannot be separate. There this unity is revealed in this state of separateness. Then you know that this unity is not what's called an inadvertent unity, not by default, but it is a proactive unity. It is truly the source of everything. So similarly, in this inyan, that the oir eliki, the rotzen eliki, is nisgala as a result of the fact that there is Torah, because through Torah and mitzvahs, Dinyan Halaku is revealed in a manner that it could not be any other way. As we're pointing out throughout, various things, occasions that we have, that you could go down into a perfectly worldly circumstance, and you say, okay, here, Torah, Halakus is lost. It's nothing you can do. No, there's no way it can express itself. It's just a worldly thing. I have an article, I'll lend it to you. It's a perfect interhuman interaction, has nothing to do with godliness. Zero. If you're one human being, another human being. And when you're a little bit thought, we say, hey, this is a completely different perspective, different reality. I don't want to go very far into this, but that's what I get in. This is the principle, and it's evident in every aspect of Torah mitzvahs and worldly application. As for example, you can make a shliach, an emissary, to represent you in the most subtle and most sensitive areas. How is this? You can have a shliach to be Mekadesh an Isha for you, and he is Mekadesh the Isha, and you become the throat, and she becomes the throat to you. In literal sense, I mean, in Torah, the Kiddushin is Eshes Ish. How is this? Not only that, if you go into the Gemara, the variations of the Gemara is pointing out somebody is giving his own money, and at least here the simple situation is where the man gives money to a shliach and it says give it to the woman. It could be the shliach takes his own money. Doesn't even have to come from the husband at all. Why? Because in principle there is a unity between all existence. And up to the very moment where they are literally separate, in other words, they have to be separate, they could be united. Like we say, you can't eat for somebody else. You can't be moitzed somebody by eating. For example, this kazayas I'm eating for you, and therefore you don't have to eat. That doesn't, because this has to be affected in the Gashmistic arena itself. All right, let's continue. Yes. No. Okay, so we are 5 lines from the bottom. However, the principle hamshocha that is effectuated by the Torah, that's what ik. In other words, we said in general that the Torah is mamshich, the oireliki, and it in Yishe is the oireliki. Now we're saying another notch. That the principle hamshocha al Torah hu shenimshach tois v'sedes. It's a completely different area. It's called tois v'sedes, increase of oiris. What is this increase of oiris? In other words, there is an initial union of oil, and then there is the union of tois v'sedes in increase of oiris. Hine noida, for it is known sheyesh Beis mine hamshochis, that there are 2 types of hamshochis, of the influence of oil in kelim. Ho'alev, one is besoid shoydish. It's called soid shoydish. What shoydish means? The root, which means, okay, so he explains, Mashenikzav bitchilas ha'hamshocha, that which was set and designed, bitchilas ha'hamshocha, in the onset of the hamshocha, in the beginning of the hamshocha. Now this is what's going to be rendered, given, and this is called shaylish. This is the shaylish, the root of this whole existence. She'ein bozeh giroin la'olam. Within this side and this principle, ein bozeh giroin la'olam, there is never any reduction. Like the Torah says, after the Mabul, after the flood, so it says that the Eibishter had made a covenant with the world, and it says that the various aspects of the normal process of the world, day and night, and the seasons, lo yishbaisu, this is never going to cease. Never going to be interrupted. Ein b'sei giroy, there is no reduction into the oilam forever. This is one type of hamshach. The habeis, and the other type of hamshach is mashenim shach besoid toisefes. That which comes. The word besoid, perhaps at the end we'll discuss what this implies. Besoid toisefes, in the sense of toisefes as an increase, as an add-on. And what's the significance of this add-on? If you have the real thing, and that can never be reduced, so what's so significant about this efes? However, we have to know sheteisfos eshal HaKadosh Baruch Hu meruba al hoyiko. That this teisefes shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the increase coming from Hashem, meruba al hoyiko, is greater than the ikar, than the principle. What is behind this statement? Meruba lo yikar. We will see immediately now, as an introduction to that which we are going to say now. If there could be an increase in the world, so why did it not come with the initial gift, with the initial hamshach? The fact that it didn't come with the initial hamshacha says that this teisefes is from an entirely different source, an entirely different perspective than the initial hamshacha. That's why it didn't come with the initial hamshacha. What is this? What are these two perspectives? Okay, the whole, and that is these two hamshachas. Hamshocha. One is the hamshocha shal piseder hishtalshelus. The hamshocha that is based and is defined piseder hishtalshelus, the process of hishtalshelus. Uma she'eina k'piseder hishtalshelus. And that which is not according to the seder hishtalshelus, according to the order of the process of hishtalshelus. And this is going to be now described we have a chance to discuss it in great detail as we go on. AyinBase meaning hamshoches elu. Page Zion on the bottom. We are on the very last line. AyinBase meaning hamshoches elu. To understand these two types of hamshoches, sorich lahagdim, we have to first introduce Masha or the Sifrei Kabbalah, that which we find in Sifrei Kabbalah. The whole ho'avodah, that the whole principle of avodah, that we have avodas Hashem. What is the function of avodah? The Rebbe created the world. What is the meaning of avodah? Avodah is a hamshir bechinas moichin chadosh. That's the lotion, the expression in Sifrei Kabbalah. To draw bechinas moichin chadosh. New moichin. Just to introduce the term moichin, so that be able to correlate what we said before. there is moichin and the midas. Even though moichin and midas exist in the very same entity, like a human being has moichin, has midas. They are very, very distinct, and they present quite different principles. Like when a person acts, he acts according to his midas. What directs the midas in what way to act? That's the moichin. On what basis, in what way, and with what influence do moichin direct the midas to act? That they should act according to the moichin. The midas have their own interest. It is that the moichin relate to that which is above, that which is not influenced by the metzius of the person himself, but that which is represented by the overall reality, overall truth. Moichin is what enables a human being to act within a greater truth than his own interest. This is moichin. The midas are not capable on their own. We've talked about many times. Midas act according to their nature. That's what midas are. It is the moichin that bring into the midas this influence and this illumination. Just like in this case of lending the article. Up in midas, I lent you the article. How can we hold it back from me? Only the moichin can realize, hey, you should know that this article comes from someplace. It's true that you own it, no, but you don't. But there's a truer presence of ownership than even yours. Only moichin can relate to it. This is why we always refer to the objective view of the truth. Midas cannot see things objectively. Moichin can see things objectively. See, what is the truth? So inside the Kriya Kabbalah, that what is the whole Aveda is laham shebechinas moichin chadoshim. Here we're talking about bringing nuch moichin. In other words, there is moichin, the primary moichin, which are the moichin that supply that normal gila in the world, normal midas, and then there's moichin chadoshim. So now we need to understand mahu inyan moichin chadoshim. What is the principle of moichin chadoshim? New moichin. Mashma mizeh, which implies immediately by the term moichin chadoshim, we immediately see shagam mikoidem yesh bechinas moichin, that even before this hamshocha moichin chadoshim, there is also the inyan of moichin. This is implied in the very term moichin chadoshim. That means there is already a moichin, now we're bringing new moichin. And then he says simply, logically, Shaharei Kain Hu Seder HaHamshoch. Since that this is Seder HaHamshoch, this is the order of how everything is nimshach. Shenimshach Tomid, that there is a constant Hamshocha, Mibchinas Keser, from the Keser, Lechochmo Bina, into Chochmo Bina. Umichochmo Bina, also, this is how it is in Atzilus. And this is how it is throughout the Seder Ishtalshus. Hare yesh hamshochas hameichin zo imke. Therefore, we see that in the Seder Ishtalshus, the way it is, there is hamshochas hameichin into zo. V'imke, and thus we need to understand mahu. What is the novelty in this bechinas meichin chadosh? Novelty, again, as we pointed out, it's a novelty that is affected, that brought about as a result of avodah. It is not something that comes in the normal process of Seder Hishtalshelus. Even though this is Moichin and this is Midas, even in Seder Hishtalshelus there's Moichin and Zoh. And Moichin relates to Kesed. And Moichin represents the Kesed into the Seder Hishtalshelus. And it is properly called Moichin because it is Moichin, it is that which is above. And yet, there is a new from Meichin Chadosh. What is novel in Meichin Chadosh? And we have to put down this following principle. The Gam Kasher Nimsha Mibchinas Atzmus HaMeichin De'avo, that even if there will be Hamshach from the what's called Bechinas Atzmus HaMeichin De'avo, from the Etzem of the Meichin of Avo, we'll discuss in a moment. Ein ze hischachus adai. That is still not real hischachus. In other words, one may at first glance say Meichin Chadoshim means it's a different madrega within the Meichin itself. There is the Meichin, as we're going to discuss now. There's the Meichin, the way the Meichin express himself and define midos. And then there's the Meichin, the way the Meichin are unto themselves. Just as we say in normal human process, there is the time when one is learning and is trying to understand, to know what the truth is. And then there's a time when he is reflecting, okay, well, how should I therefore act? When we need to speak in terms of how should I therefore act, that is already the Chitzonis HaMeichin, that's not the Etzem HaMeichin. That is the Meichin have the influence in Midas, as we're going to see. So one may think that Meichin Chadoshim is that the Hamshocha of the Etzem HaMeichin into the Midas. That's the Hischachu, that's the novelty. So the Rebbe says that is not really an explanation, because even if there is Hamshocha of Atmos HaMeichin Gabo, Ein ze Hischachus Adayin. In truth, this is not Hischachus. And this is going to be discussed following here. All right, so have a great day, and we are interrupting till tomorrow morning in Mitzvah. Have a good day. Hold.
What time did you start the live broadcast?
36 to 39. The rain, we're running late.
No, dude, it didn't start till about 45 or later. And then when
Really?
it started, it was, you couldn't watch it.
What were you watching on?
Your laptop.
And you had decent connection?
Good Wi-Fi connection.
Boom, bum, bum, boom, bum. But I am boom boom ba boom bum ba boom bum ba boom bum bum ba dum bum bum ba boom bum 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 ba boom bum boom boom ba dum bum ba boom bum ba boom bum bum ba dum boom boom ba boom bum ba boom bum.